What happens when you assume? You've heard it often enough. You know what really happens when you assume in business? It can cost you money. It can cost you your business. So how do you get around the dangers of assumptions? Reg Charney is a serial entrepreneur and the owner of EntreBahn, and he's been through this many times. Reg, how do we get around the dangers of assumptions?
Assumptions are ideas that you have that you've made up effectively, which don't reflect reality. And if you act on your assumptions and they don't match reality, then your chances of success are very, very low. Right. The answer to being able to deal with assumptions is that you've got to find other viewpoints, something closer related to reality than what you have. You may have a good idea. You may have even a good idea what the market needs, but it doesn't mean that you really understand the market fully. You only understand it fully if you are actively involved in it. And we're talking about somebody trying to bring new ideas or concepts to the market. And under those circumstances, you don't know what you don't know.
So you need to find qualified opinions in areas of weakness. You probably need to find other opinions in area of strength too, because sometimes you assume that you know everything in your business too. Yeah. Where do you go looking for those best opinions?
Well, most people start with friends and family. The problem with friends and family, of course, is that they don't want to offend you. And they will always tell you that it's great.
Yeah, not my family so much, but go ahead.
The other way currently, because of the web, we can go to forums and ask, what do you think of X? But the problem with forums is twofold. One, you can only ask basically simple questions. And you might have a complex problem, so a simple question is not viable. And the other thing is that you don't know the qualifications of the people who are answering. You don't know what their reality is and their expertise in the areas that you're concerned with. The other way that most of us have devolved to are we go out and try and hire experts in the various fields that we need, all right, be it marketing, legal, accounting, financial, whatever. The issue there is that it's very time consuming. The people who you interview with will give you basically, since they don't know your business or things, will give you generic advice. After all, they get paid for giving specific advice. So trying to decide who you want to work with almost always devolves down to who is the most pleasant person you could relate to. But that's not what you're after. You're after a reflection of reality with regards to what you're doing.
So I know this is something you thought a lot about because this is what EntreBahn does, right? It goes through that weeding process. It finds experts in a field, and rather than you having to shop and maybe pay for somebody unqualified, you go to EntreBahn and you've got people who have been pre-screened and are ready to go. How does EntreBahn work?
Well, somebody goes to EntreBahn with, let's say, the classic is the business idea, and they want to find out, is it worthwhile? Will it have legs? Right. And to do that, what they want to do is ask experts in the areas the business idea extends to, and ask them, what do they think about this? All right. And what you want to do is you want to potentially ask multiple people the same thing. And then you get the answers back, and that will cause you to, if you're bright, or, bright is the word I use.
That's the right word.
You do take the advice and modify things, your idea, to be able to more closely reflect reality. And then you stand a much better chance of when you go to market or try and convince people that this is a good idea, that you will have a better chance of actually succeeding at doing that.
So you go from thinking it might be so to having a much better chance of knowing it's so.
Yes, thank you. That's very nicely put.
Reg, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Best way is through my email, and it's reg.charney@EntreBahn.com. And EntreBahn spelled like in the sign, but EntreBahn.com. It's a combination of French and German. Entre and Bahn. Entre from to start, to begin, to enter, and Bahn is usually thought of as the Autobahn or a high speed. So a quick way to get up to speed.
Yeah, it's the Autobahn for entrepreneurs.
Yes, nicely put. Thank you.
Reg, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. And if people want to get quick access to experts and quit making assumptions, you can get a hold of EntreBahn, and Reg will be happy to help you out.
Yep.